Hi guys, welcome to Cooking Jody Style. So today we are making Mars bar slice. So Mars bar slice is incredibly easy to make. It pretty much has like 4 ingredients. So we've got our rice bubbles. Now in there here is 9 cups of rice bubbles. And then we have our Mars bars. Make sure you chop up your Mars bars because if you don't chop them up and just put them straight in the pan, they'll take forever to melt. So you really do need to chop them up. So in here is 12 times 53 gram Mars bars. Yep, that's a lot. Which I think is, yeah, a little over 600 grams. Don't quote me because I'm terrible at math. But yeah, there's that. And then we have 150 grams of butter. And we'll be doing 3 tablespoons of golden syrup. And we'll also melt our chocolate, which is 600 grams of chocolate, later after our things actually set. So we're going to heat up our pan. And so the first thing you need to do is you need to melt your butter and half of your Mars bars in the pan. The reason why I say half of your Mars bars is because you don't want to melt all your Mars bars straight away because you want chunks of Mars bar through your actual slice as well. So, yeah, probably 3/4. Melt 3/4 of your Mars bars and then leave the other quarter to be chunky through there, which is awesome. Okay, so we're going to put in our butter. So it's 150 grams of butter. So this recipe is not for the diet conscious people because it is not healthy at all. Yeah, so you want to pretty much just lubricate the bottom of your pan or coat the bottom of your pan before you pop in your Mars bars. And once that's coated, you can pop in your Mars bars. So what the kind of pan I have is it's about 34 centimeters long and about 22 centimeters wide, and I like my Mars bar sliced quite thick, and so do my clients. So it's quite thick. Now you can see it's pretty roughly lined. It's because you don't want to line it like you would a cake tin, so you don't want to put your base in and then line the sides separately because you need to be able to pull out the slice when it's set, and you can't do that if you line it separately. So it's okay to have it just roughly lined because generally the outer edges I give to my family. I don't give them to clients anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's not neat. Okay, so that started to melt there now, so we're going to put in our Mars bars. Now, Mars bars, they like to stick together, so you need to separate them a little bit. Okay, so we're going to put in about 3/4 of our Mars bars. It'll all end up in there eventually, so if you put a little bit less or a little bit more in, don't freak out. It doesn't matter that much. Okay, and then you just want to put that other bit aside for now because you want all this to melt before you add in your other bits. Now, your Mars bars won't completely melt. The nougat that's in Mars bars doesn't completely melt. So, just be aware of that. Don't stand here for 3 hours trying to have that nougat melt because it'll go soft but it won't fully melt, and that's okay because you want that in your slice anyway, so you don't need it to be fully melted. You just got to make sure that you stir it and you don't have your pan up too high. So you can see there that the nougat is going mushy, which is what we want, and the chocolate is all melting off that. So that part you see there is mostly nougat. So pretty much once your butter has fully melted, that's when you add in the remainder of your Mars bars. So you want to get, when you go shopping for ingredients, you want to get 14 53 gram Mars bars because the other two are for decoration afterwards. I'm just going to add in the rest of my Mars bars. There. Lovely. Likes to stick. Sticking to the bottom of my bowl. Okay. Alright, we're in. We're in, people. Alright. Give that a good old stir around. So I've just put all that in there. So now what I want to do is I just want to stir it around, and I don't want it to like completely melt there like the other one, because I do want some chunks of Mars bar in my actual slice. Okay, and now we're going to just add our golden syrup. See how easy this recipe is? It's really easy. Just want to quickly stir that around. You want three tablespoons. And you notice like golden syrup kind of coats the bottom of the thing, so usually on my last one I overflow it a little bit, and that's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter if you add a little bit. See how I just overflow it a little bit, and that compensates for that little bit that's coated on the inside of the thing there. Okay, so we're ready there now to add our rice bubbles. Now when you're adding the rice bubbles, you don't really need a lot of heat on. Okay, and I'm going to do this in a couple of sections, just so I'm not... Oh, look at those rice bubbles. Nom, 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 nom. Okay, so now we're just going to put in our rest. I'm just going to give that a lovely stir around without flicking rice bubbles everywhere. And at this stage you can pretty much turn off your heat now. Just got to make sure that all of those rice bubbles have a pretty generous coating on them. Then we're going to get our pan here, and I'm just going to get a spoon out because these pans are fairly big, and lifting them up over the top of our dish here, the chances of me actually dropping it all is fairly high. So I'm just going to scoop it in. You just want to scoop it in and spread it out, because what we're going to do is we're going to actually press it into the actual tin, because you really do need to if you don't press it in, it'll be like kind of like a chocolate crackle, I suppose. Like it'll if you didn't add cocoa to a chocolate crackle, it'll break apart. But because our Mars bars are just literally just coating our rice bubbles, they won't stick together if you don't push it in. If you don't. So as you can see there now with the back of my spoon, there we go. So you can see that there's still caramel and that in there. Look at that caramel nougat. So good. Really do want it to be really pushed in there, because if it's not pushed in, it will just crumble apart when you pull it out. So now we're just going to put that in the fridge for about 10 minutes. Okay, while our rice bubbles and Mars bar is just sitting there, we are going to melt our chocolate. Now when melting chocolate, you should always use a double boiler method, which is basically you pop some water in the bottom of a saucepan. The saucepan that has your water in it should be smaller than the saucepan that has your chocolate in it, or it should be able to sit in it nice and seal it without any of the steam being able to escape too much. Okay, and then we're going to about 600 grams of chocolate here. This is actually dark chocolate, and as the water comes to boil, the steam will come up and melt your chocolate. So you don't want your water to boil and hit the top of the bottom of your top pan, because when it does that, it heats it up too much, which causes your chocolate to seize or burn, and you definitely do not want that to happen. Okay, so as our water comes up to boil, we're just going to start giving our chocolate a little bit of a stir there. So condensation will build up on the sides of your pan, so don't freak out when you hear the sizzling on the stove top, because it's not hurting anything. It's still perfectly fine. Okay, So make sure that your chocolate is fully melted. When it's to this stage where it's, you know, the steam's coming up and that, you do want to stir it because it'll melt the chocolate quicker for you, and you won't get hot spots either. Okay, so that's all melted there now, as you can see. Lovely. Chocolate. Okay, so we've got our slice out, and now we're just going to pour our chocolate over the top of the slice. Okay, we're just going to pour it over. Just make sure you kind of just pour it around, not just in one spot. Now, I don't want a thick layer of chocolate on top of this slice, because the feature of this slice is the Mars bars, not your chocolate topping. So you don't really want to be biting into a really thick piece of dark chocolate, okay? Just want to spread that around. Make sure you take it all the way to the edge, so it seals it in. Gives it a beautiful coating, nice and glossy chocolate there. Lovely. And then that'll go in the fridge for about half an hour to set. You don't really want to leave it overnight to set, because it makes it a little bit harder to cut. So about even a couple of hours actually, maybe leave it for a couple of hours, because depending on your fridge, depends on how quick your chocolate will set. Bam! Our Mars bar slice is all done and ready to eat. And as you can see, it all stays together really well. Thanks guys for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you did enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.